Colorado. Let's make him welcome. This is George Ray Russell.
Hello. I was, this is a sound check, it's not a song. If you can't hear me, something is wrong. This is a sound check, it's not a song, and I hope you can hear. If you can, bring me a beer. You know, I was performing one time and a woman came up to me and says, "Why do all cowboy poets do rhyming poetry instead of free verse?" And I said, "Well, you're wrong. There are a lot of cowboy poets that do free verse. In fact, I used to write free verse. I do primarily rhyming poems now, but one of my favorite free verse poems is this. I like to write free verse. I do it when I can. Writing rhymes can be hard, speaking man to person. It frees one up so easily to choose words that come to mind, and you don't have to worry, and you don't have to make them kind of sound alike. But the one thing I find strange when writing a free verse, the word that doesn't rhyme can make it sound much more unnaturally dysrhythmic. But the good thing about free verse, no matter what your bent, it's putting words together, and it doesn't cost a penny. You're probably wondering why I have a guitar when I'm a poet. The clue is, when I stop playing, that's when you clap. This is a song about a cowboy who's driven his herd up from Texas, sold him in Denver, and getting ready to go home. I was sitting in a grand hotel in Denver one fine day. I was headed back to Texas with a pocket full of pay. The waiter offered me some turtle soup, a Brown Palace delicacy, he said. I looked down at that little bowl and I just shook my head. "How many turtles are in there?" I asked. "I'm a steak and potatoes man." "One turtle makes 10 gallons of soup, sir. It's the finest in the land. Everybody loves it. It's quite the modern fare. We could serve a whole lot more, but turtles here are rare. It's a little bit expensive because it's in such short supply. It costs about $10 a bowl, sir. Would you like to give it a try?" I acted like I was tempted, but that swill won't touch my lips. I once had fallen for that oxtail soup on another one of my trips. Then he offered me some matzo ball soup. I smiled and said, "No way. But I might try another part of the matzo maybe on some other day." I finally got my porterhouse steak, ate it all except for the bone. I got out of that fancy place and I saddled up for home. As I rode, I got to figuring about that turtle soup. That it only takes one turtle to make 10 gallons of that goop. That's 160 bowls at $10 a piece. Why, that's $1,600 for just one carapace. Now, I'm just a dumb old cowboy, but I can hear the word and the sound of great big prophets from a great big turtle herd. So I started a new roundup. I'd sold off all my beans. I was heading after terrapins, as pretty as you please. I climbed on my cutting horse, and into his sides I spurred. I became an official turtle boy, even though that sounds absurd. I got where I could rope them, but they'd pull their heads inside, my rope would slip right off the neck, no matter how many times I tried. By the end of the week, the boys and I had amassed a great big herd. We'd be leaving in the morning with 5,000 heads, so I sent out the word. We saddled up at the break of dawn. We were eager for the trail. Threw open the gates to the turtle corral, and we gave a turtle boy a yell. Whoopee! From sun up to sundown, we drove him hard, but not so well. Because after 3 hard days of droving, we were finally out of the corral. The 5th night out, the herd was calm, but the wind blew up a storm. A lightning flash and a thunderbolt caused a big alarm. The turtles, they stampeded. There was panic everywhere. We scrambled for our horses as the lightning cracked the air. Little Jim, he spurred his horse. He was riding for the lead. But his horse, he stumbled, and down he went, right in front of that turtle stampede. The rain came down in torrents. The lightning came down in streaks. We feared the turtles would trample him to death sometime in about a week. The next morning, the storm had quit. The herd was still intact. Little Jim was a little stove up with a stone bruise on his back. That night I got to figuring again, and it brought me almost to tears when I realized to get my herd to Denver would take about 30 years. I dreamed that night of oxtail soup, turtles, and matzo balls too. And I came away concluding my turtle boy days were through. Though I've never heard of them before, don't know if they're a critter or a bird. But next week I'm going to round me up a great